Yeah.
To get back to your political position, you said that you thought that one of the mistakes of the 60s was confrontationalism, and that what you recommended instead was subversion and boring from within. Can you tell us what you mean by subversion and boring from within?
Yeah, mainly what I mean is moving with stealth. Here's the thing that I think was so problematic about the 1960s. A single ambitious graduate student in biochemistry could produce 5 million hits of LSD in the local junior college laboratory if he had the keys and a long weekend. 5 million hits. This means that you are not trying to get your friends and yourself high. This means that you are trying to become the CEO of an international criminal enterprise capable of making millions and millions of dollars. And when you manufacture 5 million hits of a psychedelic drug, this is like whipping out a loaded gun and gesturing at the government with it. They're not amused by this kind of behavior. On the other hand, let's think of a psilocybin mushroom grower. If you're a psilocybin mushroom grower and you do nothing but grow, and you work like a dog for 6 months, you might be able to produce 10,000 hits of psilocybin. 10,000 hits, as opposed to 5 million hits. This is a micro-industry. It doesn't create vast criminal pyramids. If you have 10,000 hits of psilocybin that you have to get rid of over 6 months, you have a few connections and you sell it. If you have 5 million hits of something, you have to sell it at a very low price to a second level of middlemen who slightly raise the price, who sell it to a third level of middlemen, and finally it gets down to the street. In other words, you have to organize a criminal conspiracy of some sort. This alarms the government. The other thing is the government is very alarmed when people make money off drugs. Well, if you're a dedicated mushroom grower, you can support yourself and your family in a moderately middle-class style. But you're not going to be buying a Lexus. You won't be making a payment on an apartment in Saint-Tropez out of this. It's just a living. And when you think about the fact that, these big ships that bring weed up off the coast of Florida, a guy with a fast speedboat, a guy who is a peon in that organization, they pay $250,000 per trip to the mothership. And if you have a good speedboat, you can make 3 trips a night. You can make $750,000 a night bringing weed off these motherships. And you're not a major player. You're a disposable peon way down in the structure of this criminal organization. So the money differential is incredible. That's why I think the plants are so exciting, and why I urge people to grow mushrooms. You can be assured of the purity. You can't produce so much that you're going to wreck your life and bring guys with flak jackets kicking down your front door. And it all proceeds in a much less hysterical fashion. The LSD thing was confrontational, and the people who were pushing it had a wild gleam in their eye. I mean, they wanted to pull down Western civilization in the next 18 months. Well, Western civilization wasn't interested in being pulled down, and showed that it had resources to fight that we could barely conceive of. So I think plants and stealth, and I love the slow spread of mushrooms, the slow spread of ayahuasca analogs. Ayahuasca is even harder to produce than mushrooms. I mean, to get together 500 hits of ayahuasca is an enormous industrial undertaking. So let's move so slowly that they hardly know we're there. And also, it's not necessary to present phenomenon of dropping out. I mean, I think it's much better to take over. When you walk into these software labs in California, everybody has hair down to their ass. Everybody is a freak. It's perfectly out in front that the creativity that is the unique hallmark of the American civilization has for the past 30 years been sustained by psychedelic substances. When the Japanese want mahogany, they go to Java. When they want furniture, they go to Sweden. When they want brain power, they go to California. And it's psychedelic brain power that they export. So if we were to truly limit our access to psychedelics, that would probably be the final blow to our ability to function and participate in world markets. Because without our creativity, what are we, you know? Yeah.
It just raises the question then about access to DMT.
I mean, how do we get it?
Well, and I mean, I guess there was the 5 million hits. I don't know if it's a different chemical process that, you know, is more difficult with DMT, but why isn't it happening?
Well, I think what happens with DMT is that chemists who can make it make small batches. And consequently, unless you're their roommate or their girlfriend, it's all gone by the time you hear about it. In an ordinary laboratory, it's quite difficult to make more than 100 grams. That's only 4 ounces. To scale up to do industrial production of DMT, you need a small pharmaceutical factory. You need big stainless steel vats. You need complex temperature controls, so forth and so on. I think DMT will always be a thing spotty and in limited supply until it's legal, or if it becomes legal, and then it can just be produced.